Another shocking incident at an Auckland Oranga Tamariki facility has been brought to light. Now, a warning that the following video shared with Newshub may be confronting for some of our viewers this morning. It shows residents fighting MMA style, has resulted in 4 staff members being stood down over the incident.
Get up! Get up! Oh! No, wait! Get up! Get up! No, he's done.
The fight occurred in mid-June and was at the Korowai Manaki facility, the same site where just days earlier 5 teenagers escaped to the top of the roof. The Children's Minister is Kelvin Davis. He's with us live this morning on AM. Minister, good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Morning.
Can you tell us who was in the room when this was happening?
Well, first of all, the footage is very disturbing, and the fact that there were staff members in the room is totally unacceptable. And those 4 staff members have been stood down. They were stood down the day that Oranga Tamariki received this. So staff members and the young people. But look, they were stood down, and what we've done proactively is get Mike Bush to do a review into these residences, which is to flush out these sorts of incidences. We suspected that there was things weren't quite right, which is why we implemented the review. And Mike's mandate is to find the problems and to fix them.
Okay, so did you know about this incident before Mike Bush was appointed? You're saying that's why you appointed him? Or OT?
No, there was a couple of reports of alleged inappropriate behaviour by some staff members. We implemented the review, stood up the review with Mike Bush, and then as subsequently this footage has come out, and that's good.
Right.
It's not good it's happened, but it is good that we're flushing out this sort of behaviour and we're fixing it. What would be worse is if it continued to happen in secret.
Sure. So you're saying that the 2 incidences that you're talking about were of a sexual nature, that prompted the Mike Bush intervention, and then this video has been brought to your attention subsequently. Are you saying that all 4 of the staff members who've been stood down were in the room while those young people were fighting?
Look, I'm not sure. What I was told was any adult who witnessed the event has been stood down.
Right.
And that's good. I mean, if there are adults there who did not intervene and did not say this is wrong, then there's no place for them, as far as I'm concerned, in a youth justice residence.
Do you know whether any of them condoned this or encouraged it?
Well, from the footage, it appears that there were some that were condoning it. And like I say, that is unacceptable. And there's no place for them in that residence.
How
no place
on
for
earth,
them.
Minister, how on earth were they hired?
Well, that's part of what Mike Bush is going to get to, this whole situation about recruitment. It is difficult to recruit staff there, but we've still got to make sure that the right people are recruited.
Well, clearly they're not. Clearly the right people aren't being recruited, because can you tell me how many Oranga Tamariki staff today are being stood down pending investigations into their behavioural conduct?
Well, I believe that there have been 11 stood down recently, and I support that. We do have to then go and recruit more people to replace them, and we've got to make sure that those recruitment processes are robust.
Okay, so we've got the 2 who have been stood down for allegations of a sexual nature, the 4 who have been stood down over this particular video. What about the rest?
Look, obviously for inappropriate behaviour, but those are operational things that the chief executive has to deal with, and I back him totally. He's moved swiftly whenever there have been any allegations of inappropriate behaviour. I'm sorry, Minister, 11 staff members stood down pending investigations. This is a cultural problem at Oranga Tamariki residences, isn't it? And that's why we have the review. We implemented the review because we believe or suspected that things weren't quite right. And what we're doing is flushing things out. And it's good. When you go to flush things out, you shouldn't be surprised that things get flushed out. And like I said earlier, that what would be worse is if things continue to happen in secret, which is what has gone on for probably decades.
Do you take responsibility, ultimate responsibility for this being able to happen?
I take responsibility for fixing it, which is why we've appointed Mike Bush.
But do you take responsibility for it being able to happen? You were very hard on the then national government when there was fighting in prisons. You called for ministers to resign. You know, why aren't you resigning if you're a man of your word and conviction?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you raised that, because with the Serco fight clubs, what we had was a government that washed its hands of responsibility, tried to privatise away its problems. What we're doing as a government is standing up.
So do you take responsibility, Minister? Do you take responsibility for this being able to happen under your watch?
And what we're doing is addressing that. Doing nothing.
But you're
doing
not.
Nothing.
But own it. Own it, Minister.
So that's what we're doing. We're owning it by saying we suspect there are problems and we're going out and fixing them.
But can you just say the words, I accept that I am responsible and this has happened on my watch?
I am responsible for making sure that the children of New Zealand are safe, and by having this review and finding the problems and fixing them, that is taking responsibility.
Okay, Minister, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. 14 minutes after 7 now. That's the Minister for Children, Kelvin Davis.